No, yeah. Call the budget meeting to order. Does anybody want to sign up?
I'm marking over to you, you do it. And to do our job for us.
No one signed up for the citizens communication. Can I get a motion for approval of the minutes? Would you approve? Is there any changes, questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 4-1. Next is the budget transfer request. Phoebe?
Yes, the first transfer is from the sheriff. This is transfer $16,810 from training into data processing to make available for funds a new software system.
Would you approve? Any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
Next transfer is from Judge Andre and Judge Taylor. This is for $2,000 transferring from other contracted services into periodicals.
Anybody got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
We have a transfer request from Juvenile Services. There's actually two requests on this one memo. This is to move from the part-time line item, $15,000, into the overtime line item, as well as $500 from fuel expense into vehicle maintenance.
Move to approve. Anybody got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
Next request is for a surplus vehicle. This is from the library department. They are looking for a surplus vehicle, obviously that is of sound use. We do have one that has just been turned in from property management. So we have surplus their fleet, Williamson County fleet vehicle. It is of sound and it meets our criteria, so we're just going to transfer over from property management to the library.
Anybody got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
Next transfer request is coming from property management. This is to move $600 from natural gas into the office supply line item.
Move to approve. Second. Anyone have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
Next transfer request is from Judge Andre and Judge Taylor. This is for Judicial Commissioner's budget department. This is to move $1,200 from travel into operating leases.
Move to approve. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
The Animal Center is requesting a transfer from natural gas into other contracted services in the amount of $5,000.
Move to approve. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
The Health Department Director is requesting to make a transfer into their maintenance and repair line. This is to cover some cost to finish up the Fairview Clinic for remodel. We are moving $1,000 from travel, $700 from food services, $5,000 from instructional supplies, and $1,500 from in-service staff development, for a total of $8,200 into maintenance and repair.
Move to approve. Second. Anyone have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
The Public Safety Director is requesting a transfer for dispatcher. These are payroll line items. This is to move from the dispatcher radio operator line of $45,000 into their part-time line for dispatchers in the same amount of $45,000. The second request is for monies to be transferred out of the dispatcher operator radio operators line of $100,000 into overtime to cover overtime due to personnel shortage.
Move to approve. Anyone have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. And we'll start on the resolutions. Resolution number 325-1, resolution accepting a donation from the DUI Court Foundation of Williamson County and appropriating amending the 2024-25 Williamson County General Sessions Court budget by $25,500. Revenues to come from donations. Move to approve. Who wants to speak on this?
I will speak on this.
Okay.
Danielle Gomez.
Come on up to the podium.
So, Danielle Gomez, court coordinator with the DUI court. $25,000 of this comes from our annual golf tournament. This is ran through the Williamson County DUI Court Foundation. And then $500 of it is through a private donor. So all of those funds will be donated from our foundation to our DUI court through the county.
Anyone have any questions? Y'all ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 325-2, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-25 Parks and Recreation budget by $123,085. Revenues to come from donations. Move to approve.
Second.
Gordon?
Good afternoon, everybody. On this particular resolution, you can just see that these are monies that have come in through donations. $112,000 is money that is used directly to offset the expense, part of the expense for the youth basketball league that just wrapped up. You can see that the Nolensville Youth Association made a donation towards park improvements. And then we had a private donation of $3,000 from Mr. Ed Vining, who wanted to make a donation to Timberland Park. So you can see those are total up to $123,085, and they are being put into expense line items.
Does anyone have any questions about this? Y'all ready to vote? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 325-3, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-25 Parks and Recreation budget by $428,000. Revenue to come from parks and recreation fees. Move to approve.
So once again, revenues for $428,000. We have expenses in contracts through ticketing through the Performing Arts Center. $290,000 needs to be paid out to instructors for services rendered. And then $40,000 are for refunds to programs that people registered for or weren't able to attend. Just a little bit of information to date. So far, we have collected fees totaling about $6.5 million. So we do have the substantial revenue to cover moving some of this out of fund balance into operational line items.
Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Smith?
On the refunds, when that happens, are you able to still kind of rent the space out? So if somebody cancels or can't utilize it, are you able to?
Well, most of the time that we have refunds, it's for programs that they cannot attend. So for example, you may sign up for a tennis clinic, but then you hurt your leg. And so you have to be refunded for that. Or you sign your kids up for a program that they decided that they want to back out of. So the first thing that we do when we have a refund request, we have a process. We try to get them to keep that money in their account and repurpose it for other Parks and Rec activities. A lot of times staff can do a really great job of getting them to sign up for something else that seems to be more suitable, or hold money in the account until they get rehabbed and then they can participate if it's a physical injury. But most of those refunds aren't for cancellation of like room usage or anything like that. They're actually for programs.
So if somebody is not able to use it, are you able to kind of, I guess in your example, if somebody's not able to participate in a program, are you able to fill that slot that that person may have taken?
Yes, if we have a waiting list, we absolutely go back to the waiting list and, and put somebody in. So it's well organized. They have, some things aren't. We don't have a waiting list, but in some cases we do, and we automatically try to get as many of those in as we can.
Any more questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 3254, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-25 annual center budget by $8,000, revenues to come from donations.
Move to approve. Second.
Andre?
This is a generous donation from the Friends of Williamson County Animal Center. As you all probably know, we will put about 1,000 cats and kittens through foster this summer, and this donation is to purchase food from Royal Canin, which is a little bit higher end food than what is typically donated for kittens. So it's specifically formulated for mothers, nursing mothers, and kittens that are nursing. It kind of just cuts down on all the medical issues that arise from feeding a food that's not designed for kittens that young. So it doesn't come out of the county budget, though Friends typically covers 100% of the food that we need.
Are these cats and kittens from where y'all were kind enough to take them in from the?
So all of those cats were adopted pretty quickly. There's a phenomenon that when you pull an animal from any sort of disaster, all of a sudden that's the most popular animal in the building, even though you might have some regular intakes that have been around for a while. So all of those cats that came from Unicoi County have already been adopted, and they went pretty quickly. Our spay-neuter services have really made a huge impact on the level of cats and kittens that we're taxed with taking every year. So you heard me say in 2018, there were 500 cats in our building in the month of June at one time. And we really don't have that anymore. We've spayed and neutered our way out of that problem. We still take in about 2,500 cats a year, but they aren't flooding in the doors like they used to.
That's right. Anybody else got questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 3255, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-25 capital projects budget by $132,010.49, revenues to come from state grant funds.
Move to approve.
Please.
Ms. Kathy Montgomery was not able to attend tonight. This money will be utilized to finish the workup for the new administrative area in the health department next door and for the Fairview Clinic.
Anyone got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 3256. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a grant contract with the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation on behalf of the Williamson County Library and amending the 2024-25 library budget by $4,000, revenues to come from grant funds.
Move to approve.
Second. Jessica here. You want to speak on it, Phoebe?
Yes, ma'am. So this is a grant that has been awarded to the library department. There is no matching funds, so this is just an in and out.
Anyone have any questions?
I just had a quick question. Where's the storybook trail at?
I think she is developing it, so I don't know
Do you know where
where,
it's gonna be?
I don't know exactly where, I don't think she said where this one's gonna be. She doesn't have the location, no. I know we don't have one yet. This is her being allowed to kind of start that process.
Any more questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution number 3257, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-2025 library budget by $3,129.40, revenues to come from donation and memorials. Move to approve.
Yes, these are donations that have been received from friends of the Leapersforth Library and the Library Foundation. And this is just a normal donation that they usually get. They get a few throughout the year, and this is just to offset the cost of books.
Any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 325-8, resolution amending the 2024-25 Sheriff's Office budget by $60,000 revenues to come from grant funds. Move to approve.
Second.
Sheriff?
Good afternoon. This is a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance that provides provision for funding of law enforcement hiring and retention bonuses.
Has anyone got any questions?
So, Madam Chairman, if I could, for the other members, it took us a while when we were doing a review of this to understand it. He's getting $60,000 over a 5-year period. If you will see on the second page of the grant amendment, this is an increase to $300,000, but the total is up to $500,000. So it's $60,000 a year for 5 years.
Anyone have any questions? Yes.
So what are the bonuses used for?
It's for the purpose of hiring and retention. So they're giving this back to those people that we've either recently hired for the purpose of retaining them so that they don't go somewhere else.
Okay, so basically it's just like a bonus
Yeah,
for
it's just a
doing a good job. Okay.
Any more questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 325-9, resolution appropriating and amending the 2024-25 Sheriff's Office budget by $51,200, revenues to come from law enforcement training program. Sheriff?
This is additional money identified by the state that they pay out for your certification training. And this is the third such installment that they have brought to us. And so this money is eligible to SRO deputies only in the amount of $800 each.
Anyone have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 325-10, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, appropriating and amending the 2024-25 Parks and Recreation budget by $3,172,500, revenues to come from grant funds. Move to approve. Second. Mr. Hampton?
Madam Chair, this is one of those grants that we recently received. Beth Wathers has worked very, very hard with staff, Parks and Rec staff, Andrea Hastings from Phoebe staff to help us get these funds. So we received a couple of months ago at a ceremony a check from TDEC, a state agency, for $2,172,500. This is an LPRF grant, which requires a 50% match. So you can see here that the state grants for 2.1725. We have to take, for our match, we're taking $1 million out of fund balance. And then we also were credited for the match of $1,172,500. That's not coming out of fund balance. We are using the value of the property at Castle Park. So we're saving money in the fund balance and not getting any money out of capital. We're using the assessed value of the property to cover that match. So we're getting $3,172,500 if you approve this resolution. Part of it coming from the state, part of it coming from the fund balance. And this is to do the build out at Castle Park to move the arena, the riding arena from Triune Riding Club to the Castle Park property. So this is a really good deal for the county to be able to apply and receive these grants from the state. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Question?
Yeah, since this is like my district, so I've had a few questions. So what is the timeline, do you think, for once we get the funds to actually get the writing center moved?
So we haven't signed the contract yet because we can't do that until after the commission does their part in this. Once we do that, the next step is we have to secure an architect to help us do all the design work. Once we have the design work, then we can establish a budget. And even though we've had to submit a budget, things often change. And as Phoebe knows, with Andrea's hard work, we've had to kind of bounce that back and forth a little bit several times to get where we are today. So my best guess is once we can get the contract signed, this park is not that detailed, so I would hope within, 4 months, 5 months, we can get the design work done and have that where it's ready to go out to bid.
Are you working with any of the property owners there to hopefully help with some of the traffic issues that we've had during the Renaissance as part of this development?
We don't feel like that there's going to be any traffic issues that's going to affect Spantown or Castle Road because the entrance to and from the park are going to be off Highway 96. And then at Osborne, we basically, there might be a slight increase to the amenities that we're going to bring online there, but that park's already being used, actively every day during the soccer seasons. So to answer your question directly, no, we haven't worked with the Spantown Road neighbors because we don't feel like this is going to affect them.
Any more questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 32511, resolution of the governing body of Williamson County, Tennessee, supporting an application to participate in the local Parks and Recreation Fund grant for the construction of improvements for College Grove and Wilkins Branch outdoor parks.
Move to approve. Second.
Madam Chairman, once again, this is a similar grant, but it's actually the same type of grant. It's an LPRF grant. We're very fortunate to that TDEC has changed the rules. In years past, you would not be able to apply for an LPRF grant if you currently had one pending. But due to a change in the rules, we're able to do that. So what we are seeking are improvements to the mountain bike trails. Right now, we need to utilize land that we already own. The response to opening the mountain bike park has been incredible. And we've actually really outgrown the space. So we're going to move into another section of property that we already own to develop phase 2 of the mountain bike park. The cost for that is should be covered entirely from the land grant and the land match. And we received good news back from the appraisal. And the appraisal for Wilkins Branch came back at $1,265,000. That will be the amount that we asked for to build phase 2 at Wilkins Branch. So if we're able to secure this LPRF grant, we're basically going to get a free park from the state of Tennessee because we're not going to have to get any money. The plans are not to get any money out of the fund balance, nor are we asking for it in capital. At Grassland, at College Grove, we are, in this year's capital, we are asking for money to develop a new park there. However, what we're trying to do is take some of the pressure off that, where if we had to do it in phases, we would not have to necessarily come back and ask this commission for more capital funds for a second phase. We're trying to get that through the LPRF. And we have, once again, had a successful appraisal come back for that particular property. And the dollar amount for that was $2,259,000. So our phase two, we hope we can bring in for that particular amount and not ask for any additional funds out of either the fund balance or through capital. So that's what that's what we're working hard towards. And, but this is all pending on getting the approval from TDEC for these grants.
And I need to do a proposed amendment to this resolution 32511. It says insert a new fourth whereas statement as follows. Whereas the permitted land base to be utilized as the local match includes an appraisal of the College Grove property of $2,259,000 and the Wilkins Branch property appraisal of $1,265,000. And can I get a motion on that for the amendment?
Motion to amend.
Anybody have any questions about this amendment?
You're just breaking it down so it's specific to each of the different ones. Okay.
Yeah, the intention is to put a whereas in there to show where the money is actually coming from. We would have put it in there originally, but we didn't want to put it in not knowing the exact amount. So we didn't get the final appraisal in until Monday. So that's the reason for that.
Y'all ready to vote on amendment? All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Now on the original resolution, are there questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, as amended.
Got happy.
So on the College Grove, because the College Grove Youth Athletics I have a few neighbors and we've used College Grove Youth Athletics. Can you talk specifically like what that plan is for there? I guess if we do get this grant, because I know there's some safety concerns right now, some immediate safety concerns.
Well, the current park is in a state of not neglect, because it's certainly a safe park. However, we haven't spent any money the past few years doing any real upgrades to that park, knowing that we're going to be building a new one. So I thought that would be extremely wasteful for the county to put money into a park that's going to have to be torn down because of the arrangement that we have with EMS and EMA to bring another fire station online. So the park is safe and it is playable. The new park is going to be located on 40 acres directly behind the current park. And so right now we don't have any hard, fast drawings for that. However, we will be replacing all the amenities that will be coming offline, which are ball fields for girls softball, boys baseball. We do want to be able to allow that area to grow into being able to have some multi-purpose fields out there for their flag football program, their tackle football program. We're also working, and this has been a good development, we're working with the planning department where the developer that's developing property right behind this park is going to work with us so that we can gain access to Newtown Road, which is behind that property, so that it's very important for us from a safety standpoint to have two ways in and out of a park when we know we have a fire station there. So we're working with a developer. That developer is also going to provide us with, we're working on a contract right now for sewage. It's one of the step systems that's been approved. And by being able to work with the contractor, use their step system, we'll be able to utilize the entire 40 acres for a park and not have to set aside, maybe 15 or 20 of it for fill lines. So we're going to be able to utilize the entire park over a period of time. Chances of us developing the entire 40 acres right off the bat, we may not do that. It may not be necessary to do that. But that's sort of the steps that we're going to be taking. Obviously, we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. The commission has to approve the capital, which this is in. But what we're trying to demonstrate here is that we're doing everything we can to provide additional funds, bring additional funds to the table. We're trying to work with the developer to get easements at no cost to the county. We're trying to secure grant funding. And everything that we're doing is just towards the main goal of getting that part of the community, the much-needed park that they haven't been able to have the entire time that I've worked for Williamson County, which has been 30 years. Excuse me. So they're 30 years overdue. And we feel like once this park comes online, we will have been able to put new parks with new lighting and new services and cover the entire county.
I know there's a high demand for youth sports out there.
Yes, there is, and it's growing, and there are even more people talking to landowners out there about trying to develop more step systems for more homes to be built on Arno Road. It's amazing how many people are figuring out ways to bring people into Williamson County. So that's a hot part of the county, it really is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
More questions? I didn't want to hear what you had to say about all that. That's coming in my area. We don't need more homes out there.
They want them, so anyway, there's a big price tag on those homes, though. It helps everybody's value, I guess.
Are y'all ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against passes, the amended resolution passes 5-0.
All right, thank you again.
Resolution 3/2515, resolution to surplus and approve the conveyance of equipment, vehicles, and other personal property owned by the county and authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute all documentation needed to complete the conveyance.
Move to approve.
Second.
Madam Chairman, this is just surplus equipment. We got vehicles. If you will see, for the most part, I think there's another one. Yes, it's coming out. We'll have some more probably surplus to add to this, but this is what we've got at the time.
Anyone got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 3/2517, resolution accepting the donation of law enforcement equipment from the 21st Judicial District Drug Task Force on behalf of the Williamson County Sheriff's Department. Move to approve. Sheriff, please.
Thank you. Shocked me. Static electricity. This is the building that we've recently moved into on Beasley that was vacated by the district attorney's office that we are leasing now. Y'all approved that here recently. And this is a hodgepodge of things that they left behind that they didn't want to take with them, that they're wanting to donate to us. And this is us formally taking ownership of those items.
Sheriff, if I could, Madam Chairman, do you think any of that material there is going to go into surplus? Do you know yet?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I mean, we've been patching holes and painting and things of that sort. I couldn't say with any confidence.
Sheriff, does the drug task force even exist anymore? Has it been dissolved?
They have, since Williamson County became its own district, they're down to one investigator, and that person is more or less a district attorney's investigator, but it's still classified as the drug task force, and we still have meetings, and I'm on that board. That's Joe Ashmore is the lone investigator for the drug task force.
Anyone else have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Resolution 3/2518, a resolution to reduce the speed limit along Bethany Boulevard and located in the 8th District in Williamson County.
Move to approve.
Second.
Holly, would you like to speak on this, Commissioner Sturgeon?
I can.
I just got a request from the people on Bethany Boulevard to lower their speed limit. And they do suffer high traffic, people going through there, so we agreed.
I guess I got a question. I mean, is really 5 miles gonna, 25 miles is awful slow. I mean, how bad is it really gonna make a
It's a
difference?
residential road. It's right where Temple Road meets Sneed Road, and people who want to avoid the intersection will cut right through a residential neighborhood and speed. So I personally don't think lowering the speed limit helps, because people just exceed the speed limit. But, it's what they want, and that's where they live, so.
Did all the residents ask for that? Anybody got any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. Lake File Resolution 32519, resolution authorizing Williamson County Mayor to execute a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Military Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, and appropriating and amending the Office of Public Safety 2024-25 budget by $491,726.15, revenues to come from Homeland Security Grant Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Who's gonna speak up?
Hold on.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As part of the annual Homeland Security Grant appropriations, Williamson County has been awarded the amount cited in the resolution, and I just wanted to let you know that some of these funds will go to support hazardous materials response protective equipment for Spring Hill Fire Department, or the ATV for EMS, toward interoperability mobile gateways for the Emergency Management Agency to enable us to better communicate with response partners who come in outside of Williamson County, and for hazardous material-related training and exercises for all of the fire service in Williamson County, as well as an armored rescue vehicle for the Sheriff's Department.
Anyone have any questions?
Will the Brentwood Police Department receive any of these funds?
Not directly, no, sir. Every department is asked every year to submit their wish list, and then that wish list is prioritized based on the grant parameters, and then purchases are made. And to my knowledge, Brentwood Police Department did not ask for any funds in this particular grant year.
Who has the final say?
It's made up of emergency management directors in Homeland Security District 5. You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any questions? Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody against? Passes 5-0. All of our resolutions there. Did you have anything else? Anyone else have anything else? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.